Hey, what's up guys? It's your man 4 I'm again back with some more Wartales. In today's video, I would like to share some expert difficulty gameplay with you guys. Walk you through clearing a Rat Infestation, so you can get the best out of it yourself, from preparing for the combat to taking out all the outgrowths. As of course, you want to farm these samples to craft yourself some oils, better prepare your crew for adventures ahead. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so here we are in Marheim, in the Vatruz province. I definitely recommend you to first visit one of the capital villages in the area. Go to a tavern or inn and talk to the emissary right here, as you want to pick up a bounty or contract so you can get a nice reward after completing a rat infestation. I currently don't have any rat infestations on the list. Well, if I open up the map, I do have a contract for this one, so I probably picked it up in another main village. These can be found all over the place. I've got 3 rat infestation bounties in the southeast of the map. As you can see, some of them also have different rewards, but you can basically negotiate the price you get after completing these by taking the negotiator path right here. So this one has the possibility to negotiate missions in the list of bounties, and if you are lucky, you can get 4, maybe even 500 coins for them. So if we press accept to the trade to Strum cap, we can negotiate a success rate. I always recommend you to go with like 75 to 80 if you have all the influence in the world, because sometimes you will have bad luck and this will not work. See, with 70%, but still we get a nice reward for this one, so I'm gonna accept the offer. The next thing you want to do is get your hands on as many raw materials in the town as possible. I mean, probably gonna break some armor, while it's also very important to craft a couple torches. These are going to make it so much easier to deal with the rats. These cost only 1 wood, 2 cloth and 1 grease. I already have 17. Trust me, this is an awesome weapon to deal with the rats, also reveal the darkness. And this is what I equip to 2 characters. So I have one on Halfdan right here, and Vanessa is my other rogue, which we're going to give a second torch. So we have 2 characters with a secondary AoE attack, which is going to come in very handy. My secondary rogue, Halfdan, also has the Devious Whirlwind, which is an AoE attack, gonna be awesome to take out multiple rats as well. Alright, if we open up the map, you can see that we're currently pretty close to the rat infestation near Stromcap. It's in the southeast right here. So before we do this, we're actually going to talk to these fellas. You can find them in different areas of the world. The snake and sword icon. If you talk to them, you can basically purchase a couple cures of the plague. I know these are pretty expensive, but you can also steal them if you want to. So this is gonna give us plus 88 suspicion, but that's totally fine. Right now we can just run towards the rat infestation nest, and we are entirely ready. More about curing the plague after combat. First, we're gonna resolve it. So this is what the rat infestations look like. Pretty nasty piles of blood. But before we click on this one, you want to make sure to also save your progress. I mean, you never know what happens. You might lose some characters, or maybe you feel like your squad is not ready yet for this battle. But that is why I am here, right? Anyways, before we engage combat, I'm also gonna throw some snacks on the fire. We've got some eel soup right here, also delicious eel soup. If your cook reaches a certain level, he can also make delicious meals, but this one will basically increase our dexterity by 20% until the next rest. So I think this is a very awesome one to throw on the fire and have a lot more crit chance, let's say, more crit damage when we deal with the rats. And since we almost have a full valor points right here, I don't think we have to leave everybody inside the tent, so we can just place them all close to the campfire. If you already have 15 happiness, all the bonus happiness you generate basically will be converted to influence. So that's an awesome one to focus on. And I think we're gonna assign our Lieutenant Ari to the banner, as right here we can pick up different bonuses which are going to be very nice for this combat as well. I think the swift progress to get more experience during combat, but also respect for the enemy to earn more loot after the battle, are 2 awesome bonuses which you can activate with your banner. So with that activated, I think right now we are ready for combat. Just double check that you have 2 characters at least with torches, so you can easily deal with the rats. It's also very much recommended to bring a character with a 2-handed axe, for example, so he can AoE / multiple rats, send them to their graves. I think my current composition of 6 characters works very well in any situation. I already made a video for it in the top right of the screen yesterday, basically, in which I explain my entire comp with all the specializations, armor layers, oils which I use. So if you want to know more about that, be sure to check it out. But we have 2 tanks, 2 assassins or rogues, and 2 archers, which are going to be very nice to deal with the outgrowths. So I am hoping for 7 outgrowths on this Rat Infestation. And the nice thing is, if we only find 6 right now, we can basically load our progress. Of course, this is not something possible in Iron Man mode, but I am gonna try to find the most difficult layout to basically get the best out of it as well. So we want to have 7 rat infestations. And there we go. So in the very middle we have the Broodmother. She looks pretty scary while she doesn't fight herself. All the little rats around her will fight for their lives to protect mommy basically. And new waves will pop up every single round. So what we have to do is make sure that our characters survive these rounds. And also take out all the plague-infected outgrowths while we're at it. And you can tell that all these targets basically have pyrophobia. So the fire damage taken is increased by 50%. So that is why torches are awesome to take out the rats, because these also have the same debuff. I mean, if we just walk to this little group, use our torch strike, we can already take out 3 of the rats. And we also have the devious whirlwind on Halfdan, so she can also take care of 3 targets. So most importantly, for your setup, what we're gonna do first is make our archers face towards the outgrowths. We also want to protect them with one of our rogues or assassins. So I'm gonna make 1 archer run towards this direction, 1 archer towards this direction, or you could also just accompany each other with that while our 2 tanks are gonna keep the rats busy. In the first round, I think it's gonna be easier to just take out all the rats and then focus on the outgrowths. So yeah, let's begin with Vanessa. So I'm just gonna walk straight to the center right here. Torch strike. There we go. That's 2 rats down already. Now we can use the Wrath ability to finish off the 3rd one. And the nice thing is, this will also generate a lot of Valor points if you have, of course, Valorous Victory on your characters. I definitely recommend this specialization for your rogues. While right now, we can just run towards this one, use our ability, bam. Fortunately, we didn't kill it, but we still have plenty more moves, so we can deal with the rest afterwards. I definitely recommend you to save the galvanized troops for the mid to late game if you always struggle with those valor points, as you can just stand in the middle of your crew, cast this one, and fill up your bar, while it is even better if you already casted the where is it? The tactical order. This one gives the orderly status to all the characters around it. They will generate twice as much valor. And if then you use the galvanized troops, right in the middle of a group of 4, let's say, instead of 4 valor, you will generate 8. So all the rats are gone. Now we have 4 turns left. Then the Broodmother will take her turn and do the guttural howl to summon in new rats. So we have a free game basically, in which we have the time to take out a couple of these outgrowths. If we are lucky, we will instantly crit this thing. I'm gonna first use my recoil shot so we can possibly get some oils for extra dexterity. I can use my volley of arrows, as the second shot I do will apply vulnerability. So then it will be a guaranteed crit, and look at that. 1 outgrowth is already gone. It's always nice to move with your rogue first, then afterwards end turn with your archer, as I have the valorous support on them, so you can basically generate extra of that. While I don't think we're gonna need it, then we're gonna move with Halfdan towards this area. So she is pretty central between the 2 archers, so she can support whenever the rats spawn around them, because they don't just spawn around the Broodmother, they spawn everywhere. So you want to accompany your archers with a rogue or something that wields a torch. Let's first do the recoil shot. Already deals a lot of damage, look at that. So we basically already took out 2 outgrowths in 1 single turn. And I'm just gonna use my run to get a little bit closer to her. And the first turn. So now a lot of rats will pop up And very important, what you want to do right now is take care of the ones with the exclamation marks first. So this one, and this one. So 2 right in front of Van Cleef and 1 right in front of Ari. Ari, of course, is a pretty squishy target. So we want to make sure we take care of this target first. We did walk through the poison, which is pretty stupid, but hey. Whirlwind attack, but then we're going to use our Torch Strike. Well, I'm gonna use my Wrath. Stab down this guy. Walk towards the center of these 2 and attempt to take out both rats. Well, this one almost died, so that's a good try. But now we can end turn. And now we can deal with these 2 rats with Vanessa. So we're gonna walk towards this area. Use the Torch Strike. Bam, look at all the crit damage, instantly filling up those Valor points once again. And yeah, if you have a rogue with AoE attacks, 2 times Devious Whirlwind, the clearing is going to be even better, while this rogue has a different dagger. But I think it's totally fine. I mean, almost all the rats are gone already. Again, if you have one with a 2-handed axe, it's going to be a lot easier to clear the rats at the Broodmother, let's say. But I don't think that's very necessary. We can already apply some vulnerability or other things to the Broodmother, weaken her. So if we get into trouble, if we are not able to take out all the outgrowths, you can basically use one of your archers, cast aim, and then just shoot the Broodmother down from a long range. Or of course, take her down with one of your tanks. So you will instantly end combat. You don't have to deal with all the other rats. Once the Broodmother dies, you will resolve combat and claim victory. I don't want to use my ranged attacks to take out the rat, but the good thing is my archers are also equipped with the Wrath ability, so she can just punch the rat in the face and move on to the next outgrowth. So I'm just gonna run towards it. As you can see, I don't have enough range, so I'm just gonna use my run ability to close the distance. And first go with the recoil shot. Bam. Whoa! We instantly took it down. That's fantastic, because right now we can also cast aim. And then do the volley of arrows. Possibly take down another one. Nah, that was not the case. But that's fine. I mean, it has vulnerability applied. So the next turn we will automatically critical hit on this outgrowth. Next up we have Aline. And again, if your rogues are already standing in the direction of the outgrowth, you can end the turns with the archer close to them for a free valor point. But it's not necessary. I mean, we already generate plenty of that. So that's 1 down. Ooh, so close. We can already move a little bit towards this one and shoot this one down. There we go. Ah, we even got a new feat of strength. She's the cleanser. Aline the cleanser. I like that. You also want to be careful for those rocks falling from the sky. I mean, very close to Aline, but we're good. We're good. So we've got 3 rats starting their turns. This one is pretty close to Ari. Always make sure you deal with those. I'm gonna stand right here. And unfortunately, we won't be able to take out all 3 with 1 strike. You know what? I'm gonna stand here. Maybe that is possible. There we go. See? Proper placement can do the job. As you can see, this one has an X amount of movement, so we can basically ignore him entirely. Just instantly run to this outgrowth. Use our recoil shot to take it down. Then use our run ability to close the distance with this outgrowth. Use aim and then the volley of arrows. And with a little bit of luck, we will have a crit to have 2 shots. But that didn't happen. But we did apply vulnerability, so the next shot for my other archer will be a guaranteed crit as well. Ooh, this is nice. So we've got 3 rats very close to each other who are going to take turns. So just gonna stand in the middle once again. Use my Devious Whirlwind. And then the Torch Strike. And we take care of everything once again. Now, very nice, you also get Galvanize. The Galvanized troops will basically give you more damage. So if your archers aren't that geared up yet, you can basically take advantage of the Galvanized troops by first clearing a couple of the rats, then get a damage boost. So it's going to be easier to take out the outgrowths. So after 3 rounds, we only have 2 outgrowths left. So now we're just going to first move a little bit towards this one. Or well, we can let Ari take care of it. So I'm just going to do this one instead. We could have also just taken this red down and prevent damage on my tanks, but hey, that's totally fine. It's just that you want to prevent as much of the red damage as possible. Take them down before they can play their turns, as they will apply this fever. Every time they bite you, they will increase this damage by 10%. With like 15 stacks of fever, you're gonna take 150% more damage. That can be pretty scary. And if they bite you, they also have a chance of applying a infected wound. And this is what we're gonna talk about after the combat, but still something you want to prevent at all times. And turn. I mean, we don't even have to play with some of our characters because everything gets taken down so quickly. But this is probably the last round we need to take out all the outgrowths. I mean, these two get to play first. Same for this guy. And also this guy, who is still too far away from Aline, so we don't have to worry about that. While this Plague Rat is in reach of Ari, so we can take it down with the recoil shot. Bam. This Outgrowth has affordability applied, so we can easily take it down with a volley. There we go. Now we can end turn. But now we've taken out all the outgrowths, and the Broodmother's death ends the battle. So if we want, we can end it right now. We can just take turn with Van Cleef, walk towards the Broodmother, give her a destabilizing kick in the tummy, and it's game over. But the more rats you kill, the more experience you get, the more rewards you will get at the end of combat. So I kind of want to get the best out of this situation. Just keep farming the rats for as long as I can. And now we basically want to start moving all our characters back towards the Broodmother. And the cool thing is, if you find a nice choke point, you can keep this battle up for a pretty long time. So that is what we're going to do right now. We're going to search for a nice place where we're close enough to the Broodmother to finish her off, while we also want to be far away enough from the rat spawn so we can take them down one by one before we get swarmed. And the more rounds we take, the more rats will spawn in, so they will become more difficult. So we won't be able to do this infinitely, let's say. But yes, if you do this for a pretty long time, you will reap many more rewards. So now I am basically moving my two tanks to this little choke point right here. We're just gonna stack all our characters right in between these two pillars. So what we can do is make all these rats automatically run into my shield wall, let's say, while my archers right behind it can just finish them off, just shoot arrows from the second line. And the third line would be the assassins or rogues. They can just walk around this pillar with their high movement speed, finish off a couple rats, and then hide behind the shield wall once again, so we can farm these rats for as much as we want. Van Cleef is standing on this front, and since he has this fantastic shield, the Elazarian Heater Shield, he will always retaliate after attack against him. While Harold will not have this, so I'm still searching for the Elazarian Shield for him as well, but the archers will be safe. And now we can just deal with the small guys using our rogues. So now all the squishy targets are boxed in. The rats will automatically engage on the first one in line. So two fronts, completely safe, and you can basically start shooting them down with your bow and arrow. It would also be nice to have pikemen to deal with the rats if they get closer, but the problem is, if you use the pike wall, it will basically fade after one use. So you can't keep using that one to stab all the rats that get in the area. That would be so nice, by the way. A nice specialization though with archers is the cone shape you place, and every time when somebody walks into it, you will basically do an attack of opportunity. So you can place one cone towards this area and the second one towards this area, so every time when the rats start moving towards your shield wall, you will automatically shoot them down. I think that would be an awesome combo. While I like to keep my archers with the pin shot because, or recoil shot, because this one just works so well in many different situations. Floops. It's just so nice to see Van Cleef in action. I mean, he's just constantly mowing through all these enemies. I'm gonna end turn right here. We don't want to spend turns in walking around. But hey, we got our first plague-infected rune, I think. So I can continue with the guide. And right now you can also see that the damage we take with Van Cleef is a lot, since they just burn through our armor. So this would be a good moment to call it. So what we can do is end the turn, first kill a couple more rats, then finish off the Blood Mother, or we can just run straight towards her right now. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do the Devious Whirlwind, apply the Torch Strike, and then we can do the Wrath ability to finish her off, and that will conclude the combat. The Blood Mother is dead, the rats are fleeing in panic. So, we got our hands on 31 rats, 24 bait, which is awesome, by the way, for improved fishing bait, so you can capture more fish every time when you complete a minigame. 37 plague leather, 1 carcass, 20 plague-ridden samples, which is awesome for all the oils. I think with only this, you can already craft all the oils you will ever need for your playthrough. Almost 40 infected blood, 2 eyeballs, and more than 250 pristine fangs, which you can use to purchase new camp equipment blueprints in, let's say, the tracker camps. We also have Aline on level 7 right now, so let's give her some more dexterity so we can hit like a track. Very nice. We want to repair all the damages done, loot all the loot. So after resolving combat, you can tell that my crew is exhausted. They want to instantly rest. We cannot do anything. We cannot farm some cures of the plague, let's say. So that is why you want to bring them before you engage combat, because we won't be able to get to those characters who sell it in any way. So since we already purchased it, we can treat the injury. If you don't do this before resting, your character will not die. Don't worry about that, but you will have a passive trait, carnivorous. So then you will always have to provide meat with each rest. While right now we instantly treated the injury, we can just press camp and we can rest without any fears. So we're just gonna throw in some snacks right here. And I also realized we didn't even benefit of the eel soup because we didn't use that. So there we go, because we all rested close to the fire. We also get 42 influence, and the next day is gonna be safe. James even unlocked the delicate. James, you delicate man. Small chance of getting indigestion and falling ill. Oh, that's actually not a good thing. So he's a picky eater right now. Sweet. But yeah, that is pretty much how you clear rat infestations and get the most out of them on expert difficulty. Very quick, if we visit the apothecary. Did I say it right this time? Oh man. But yeah, right here we can craft oils right now. So first, of course, you're gonna need the pristine essence, for which you're gonna need some fish oil, a plague-ridden sample, and a vial. If you're short on fish oil, you can always purchase it from these dudes, or of course make it yourself with drying racks if you place fish on it. But now we can make pristine essence. Of course, the more vials you have, the more we can make. But this is where the oils come in. Look at that, pristine essence. We have strength oil, swiftness oil, fortifying oil. I think swiftness, strength, fortifying, and sharpening are fantastic ones to get your hands on. Critical hit plus 10% passively for rangers and archers is absolute top tier in my opinion to consistently land critical hits. But yeah, if you followed this guide just a little bit, I think you will already have everything you need to know to easily take out all the outgrowths, while if you watch closely for every minute, you will get even more out of it. Farm those rats for a couple more rounds, and then you will have a lot of resources which you can use for all your alchemy needs in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, a big thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you found this video helpful, and of course, if you have more questions about the game, I'm gonna ask it again. Leave them in the comments down below, because I am very happy to help with pretty much anything there is to talk about. But if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, because there is a lot more coming your way. Right now, I want to wish you an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.